What even is this card? So make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. So recently on the JP side of things, BuyList have been talking about wanting X-Saber Garsem. And I had to look back on this card because I forgot this thing existed. This card is all the way back from Absolute Power Force as a rare. And, you know, anytime that's going to be involved. But this card is quite interesting because it says, when this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, we can add an X-Saber monster from your deck to your hand. This card also gains 200 attack for each face of X-Saber that you control. So, what X-Sabers are doing now is they're finding a way to actually pop this stupid card, and they're turning it into a Rhoda for their deck. Now, if you're like, well, Robbie, X-Sabers are pure garbage, you know, nobody's playing this, tell that's Japan. I have seen more X-Saber lists popping up fairly recently than I expected to see because people are trying to innovate this deck. People do love X-Sabers. They did get 5 cards, and it was supposedly a good start to helping make the deck more consistent. I do appreciate that. But at this stage, you know, you're still playing with a level of power that is much younger than, or much more dumbed down than the current age. I do like Garsem. I think that he is a cool tech choice for the deck, especially, you know, when you need to get all those X-Sabers down for all that advantage. He also acts as another level 4 for the deck, which, you know, when you're kind of going through the Synchro lines, I do think that he is going to help with some of that stuff. So cool card, cool concept of searchability with this, but God, he is so old. I do hope that they do put this in the legendary deck. Now, as our trading card game adventure continues to grow, we need actually good office space to be able to record and do everything that we need. And that's where our friends over at eWin come in. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, Robbie, you know, how long has this brand been with you? This brand has been with us for actually 5+ years now, giving us the opportunity to do so much. And as you can see here with the material, these come off. You can actually adjust these up and down, and all the way down here on the floor, you can actually see all that we have to offer from the head to the bottom up. And yes, eWin is our brand. Discount code MK40 will actually save you on your purchase if you are into wanting to get a new gaming chair here. And of course, spin this bad boy around, give you a full idea. And this is part of the Flash XL series, which is actually their biggest brand yet. It's up to 500 pounds for people that are looking to sit in these. And trust me, when I say this, it's actually kind of nice to have a chair that's actually made for really big people, because these 300-pound weight limit ones that exist out here just are not cutting it for me. So it also comes with a good couple of extra features. Comes with this, comes with the head pad. You can also attach up here. But guys, check out eWin. Discount code MK40, save you on your purchase. Then there's the Great Fly. Now you're probably like, come on, Robbie, where are you finding these stupid cards? Well, this one actually has been popping up a lot in the Radiant Typhoon deck. Because guess what? It's 2 wind monsters to make the stupid thing. But why in the world are you playing this? It's all your wind monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense, and also all non-earth monsters get powered down by 400. You got to think about it like this. Radiant Typhoon has some very, very strong ratios. I believe you've got access to, I think you do have water, awkwardly enough, with some of the pieces. But the other big thing with this is you get to target a wind monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand if this card becomes destroyed. Now, that's any wind monster. We are not restricted by stat lines for this card. So you can technically make this. It's going to be a 1900. It can also power up your little guys. You can technically ram this in, pull back something else that you need, and that actually helps you out very, very, very well. Now, I could imagine maybe somewhere along the line here, maybe some Earth stuff is going to be a matchup you might run into, and you might be able to get a little bit of a power down across the field, sure. But if you're looking at Radiant Typhoon, especially post-Burst Protocol, where you get all of these way extra good cards, and you know Radiant Typhoon becomes a better deck, then this is the kind of stuff that you do want to be looking at here, because gosh darn it, it's going to help out your consistency a lot. And I do appreciate that. Extra attack point boost with floatability. Say no more, Duelist. I appreciate having some consistency in my deck. It does work out. Now we got to talk about Chimera cards. So we're in an interesting place right now where, you know, we're getting Heck of Hands here in a week or two. And Heck of Hands as a deck is kind of good purely, but why would you just stop there? Why would you not want to approach the rest of the archetype, you know? And what do I mean by that? Chimera! All right, Chimera lets you rip cards from your opponent's hand. It lets you build in a couple little Fiend cards into the deck. But also, you're kind of creating an extra little pile within the pile. Illusion good stuff is what we would call this. We've seen in the past, I think I've seen a couple of 60-card piles coming out into the woodwork, which they did look kind of cool on paper. I'm not going to hate on the idea of these, you know, 60-card illusion piles, especially being able to build in the Tartaros from the Heck of Hand stuff, where you can kind of start to RNG manip and start taking things from your opponent's extra. I think that's the reason why I like Heck of Hands in general, is you have access to like 2 counter trap cards that you can just kind of keep re-pulling back out whichever one that you're going to need off of Jaza, but also at the same time, you know, you can play all of this extra illusion stuff in the deck, and you get all of these extra little bells and whistles with it. And Chimera Fusion is a bonkers card, man. It's just how much of the illusion pile coming together is going to answer, you know, your end board and your setup. And I think you've got enough tools with the Chimera stuff to make this work, but I wanted to leave it on the list of things to consider because, you know, if you're looking at Heck of Hands, you're like, I'm excited for this. What other cards do I need to navigate towards to naturally pick up for this? Well, there's your answer. The Sky Striker Paradox. So, we once again come back to the question of, we have this legendary deck coming down in the future. Is everything going to get reprinted in here? You know, I've already had the discussion about Zero and how Zero will probably receive a reprint within this product, but I've still got people freaking out over here. It's like, well, what about the Alt-Arts? Why would the Alt-Arts get reprinted, people? Why would that Alt-Art engage? Besides, that one's kind of likely to receive the reprint. It wasn't QCR, well, it was not QCR locked because you did have the secret rare for it. Konami could do a 1-1-2-3 version of it like they did with tuning, because Engage is very much an important card to that lore, but at the same time, they might not reprint at all. Now, if you think like the Ray and things in the Shizuku might get reprinted, I don't really think that's going to be the case. All of the new cards are the sauce that people want. People want these new cards because they fundamentally help up the deck's consistency. Carmelia is something that Sky Strikers have needed for so many years. So to answer the question, you know, do I need to rush out and pick up something Sky Striker related? The things I would consider looking at would be the Alt-Arts, but at that point in time, those aren't key cards that you really need. Those are aesthetically pleasing cards that you're just looking at going, I just want my deck to look better because, you know, it is what it is at that point. For core fundamental cards that you need, I think everything for Sky Striker will be just handed to you in that box set. I think being out 3 months here and having people freaking out about this product is not necessarily a good thing right now. Patience. All right, and then we have Ritual Beast. So, Ritual Beast has been... You guys lost Protoss. All right, you lost, I think, your major end board piece, and you lost Dimensional Shifter. Losing both of those cards I hate to say it, kind of sent the deck back a couple of years down the pipeline. But I've been seeing a discussion from people looking at this deck going, you know, honestly, as a budget deck, this doesn't look like such a bad thing. And I don't necessarily hate that idea. I will say pretty much everything in Ritual Beast, minus the exception of the one expensive card, you can pretty much get the whole deck for, I think it's under $60 at this point in time. If you are somebody that's been wanting to build Ritual Beast, then this might be an opportunity to go get it. Does anything really change in the deck in the future in terms of the meta? No. But I gotta ask the question, you know, Robbie, what do you think about Ritual Beast? I think it's a cute deck. I think it's a deck that you can take to a local, do okay with. Dimension Shifter's a cracked card. If you could see it, it's still limited 1, but you lost Protoss, which was one of your best end board pieces. You've lost a lot of the things that I think made the deck feel like the deck, fundamentally. And if you can find a way to patch up those holes, and you can find a way to, you know, get things going for yourself, then that's fine. I think go for it at that stage. A lot of little things to watch this week. Garsem is a really weird one, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.